Consumer giant Procter & Gamble has long been famous for washing up liquid and nappies. But in 1996, it made its first foray into Britain's lucrative soft drinks market. Competing with Coca-Cola and Pepsi was always going to be a challenge. So P&G enlisted the help of advertising gurus Saatchi Saatchi.
Sunny Delight was an opportunity for us not only to create a great market in the UK, but also potentially to build this into a global brand.
Sunny Delight was already selling well in the US, so Saatchi Saatchi tweaked the clever American marketing to sell it in the UK.
It was a really stonking launch. It was very, very well thought out. But I think the thing that surprised us most, or certainly me most, was the fact that they managed to get it into the chilled cabinet.
P&G's research had shown that customers liked the idea of freshness that the chilled bottle suggested.
What's interesting about fresh is that it tends to be equated in consumers' minds with healthy. And of course, the holy grail, as far as mothers are concerned, is to find drinks for their children that have a combination of healthiness, but also they're appealing to that age group. On the surface, Sunny Delight seemed to be the ideal solution to that problem.
As stores stacked their chiller cabinets with the drink, a £10 million ad campaign showed thirsty children reaching for the distinctive orange bottles.
There was a really quite extraordinary call to action commercial created. It was kids running in from playing outdoor pursuits, hot, sweaty, thirsty.
Oh no, he's back. They're all back. Can we get a drink? Go on.
Opening the fridge door, and I think the shot then came out of the fridge, and they were grabbing this bright fluorescent orange, garish bottle.
Got orange juice, cola, some pub stuff, and a new Sunny Delight.
Opening it, chucking it all in, and then quenching their thirst. It was very, very powerful, and kids wanted it.
So nice. Right, brilliant. That's the last of it. No, it isn't. Give me some. This is all.
New Sunny Delight. The great stuff kids go for.
It was a real power of advertising moment.
Within 4 months, Sunny Delight was the nation's third best-selling soft drink. Supermarkets doubled, then tripled their orders.
It suddenly became one of the most successful grocery launches of all time. The sales took off so fast that our initial problem within the first few months of launch was about trying to reduce demand for it, not increase demand. We couldn't make the stuff fast enough.
It was the most extraordinary thing to see. Everyone wrote about it. It was on television. It was even on the national news. It genuinely was a marketing phenomenon.
In 1999, P&G sold over 200 million bottles of Sunny Delight. People began to ask if it could knock a certain fizzy drink off its sugary throne.
Coca-Cola was kind of an unassailable number one, some way ahead of any other drink that was there. But what happened very fast was that all of a sudden Sunny Delight seemed to be hot on its heels. It was very much one of the top 10 beverage brands in the UK. Then it became one of the top 5, and the idea that Coca-Cola could potentially be toppled as the UK's favourite soft drink took hold.
Procter & Gamble, it seemed, had discovered the impossible, a wholesome drink that children preferred to Coke. Until, well, the Food Commission urged parents to read the label. It turned out that Sunny Delight wasn't full of great stuff at all. Parents began to ask, is this really juice?
It was about 5% juice, which of course means 95% other stuff. And the other stuff, obviously, mainly water. But there were things in there like colourings, flavourings, vegetable oil, which is one that gives you a kind of mouthfeel of drinking something with a more juicy content. In the trade, it's called organoleptic properties, which sounds terribly posh. There was also quite a lot of sugar. You couldn't see that from the label, especially if you were a parent trying to read that label, because it was declared as carbohydrate, and that's the technical term for sugars in a product. We worked out that that was a roughly equivalent kind of product to a cola, and we wanted to let parents know that.
Horrified parents began to desert the brand.
It imploded the whole promise, and I think there were literally hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of mums up and down the country suddenly realising that their bubble had burst and that this mysterious and magical product was actually not juice.
Brand managers battled to regain Sunny Delight's healthy glow, but nothing could prepare them for what was about to come. Saatchi Saatchi had been planning a fun new advert for Christmas.
We'd taken the same sort of structure that we had in our normal ads, but in this case it wasn't some kids, it was a snowman.
The ad was launched as the school holidays began, but Sunny Delight's makers were about to receive an unwanted Christmas present.
The makers of Sunny Delight, one of Britain's top-selling soft drinks, have admitted that too much of it can turn children's skin yellow.
A young Sunny Delight drinker from Wales had been rushed to hospital, suffering from an unusual temporary side effect.
She was a sweet little girl of around 4, and just like any other young girl, except that her skin had a certain colour to it.
Any parents trying to imagine what shade she had turned needed only to watch to the end of the advert.
Sunny Delight, the great stuff kids go for.
The mother told me that she had worked out that the child was occasionally drinking 1 to 1.5 litres of Sunny Delight a day.
By 2001, sales had halved, and Sunny Delight had fallen from near the top of the bestseller list to a lowly number 42.
I hung on to it, grim-faced, desperately hoping that I would be able to come up with some kind of idea that would turn it around. But the sales just kept on going down, and there really wasn't too much we could do.
You can hype anything, you can make everything fantastic. You can't hype a poor product.
Canny advertisers know that, yes, you can fool people for a while, you can enjoy booming sales for a year or two, but you're in business for the long term, and in the long term, you're bound to be rumbled, as Sunny Delight was.
It wasn't what they had initially thought it was, a 100% juice product, completely, entirely healthy and sugar-free. Of course, none of those things were ever things that we'd ever claimed about it or ever indeed intended to claim.
You can't dissect it and say one thing didn't lead to another. They did.
Your consumers, or indeed your opinion formers, will pick up their cues and clues about your brand from a whole range of sources. So where is it in the supermarket? What's the packaging like? Or who's advertising it? All these things are important to people's impressions about your brand. And of course, you use that power of impressions at your peril.
Perhaps Sunny Delight was a victim of its own success. The higher our expectations of a product, the further it has to fall in our estimation if it doesn't deliver. And that's especially true of products aimed at children.
We had never thought that this was going to be quite so, emblematic for the health of the nation's children. And still, I look back on it today and just think, it was just an orange soft drink, wasn't it?